Growing tomatoes in grow bags is really quick and easy. The best time to grow tomatoes is through spring, so any time through May and June is absolutely ideal. It's really important that tomato plants are really well hydrated. They are such thirsty plants. Our tomatoes have been sat in this tray of water for almost an hour. They're now absolutely perfect for planting. There are two types of tomato plants, Cordon and bush varieties. Bush varieties are perfect for growing in pots or hanging baskets and often include many of the cherry tomato varieties. Cordon varieties grow upright on a single stem, and that's what we're going to be planting today. We've selected this deep fill, peat-free, 50 litre grow bag. Absolutely perfect for growing 3 plants in. The best location for a grow bag is in a nice sunny spot in your garden. Something you need to do before you start planting is to make sure the soil in the grow bag is nice and loose. What I do is just roll the grow bag nice and evenly, just to make sure that all the soil inside it is evenly spread, and it also helps with drainage. So the next task is to cut the holes in the grow bag. On this particular grow bag, it highlights exactly where you need to cut along 3 sides. Then it's asking you to fold the flap that's been produced underneath the bag, ready to plant in. I'm going to do that for all 3 of these. The next step is to make a hole in each of these cutouts. So we're loosely going to move the soil back into the grow bag to make a nice deep hole ready for the tomato plant to go into. I'm going to do that for all 3 of these. So now we're ready to plant our tomatoes into our grow bag. We have a variety here. This one here is called Tigerella. It's a nice sized tomato. It has a stripy skin and really decorative. We have this one called Big Pink. The fruits are really, really large. And we also have this variety called Fandango, which produces lots of fruits all on one truss. However, there's lots of varieties in your garden centre to choose from, whether they are your favourites or you just want to experiment with something new. So starting with this one here, the easiest way to get your tomato out of the pot is to put your fingers around the stem of the plant, turn the pot upside down and watch the pot glide off. We're then going to carefully locate the plant into the centre of your cutout and backfill until it's nice and firm. I'm going to do that for all 3 of these in the same way. One great innovation is this item here called a grow ring. The idea is it sits around the tomato plant. You have the reservoir around the side which you can fill with water, then the water percolates through these spikes into the grow bag to give you a really healthy plant. It also comes with this piece at the top which you can take out of the grow ring, and you can form a wigwam which acts as the tomato's plant support. So the first thing we need to do with the grow ring is to remove this centre section. We'll just pop that to one side for now. We can then feed the tomato plant through the centre hole of the grow ring, and as we get it into position, we're pushing down so the spikes pierce into the grow bag. Once we've done that, we can set up the plant support. So we're going to be using 3 bamboo canes, about 4 to 5 foot are ideal, and we position one into each of these moulded sections. Then once that's together, we can use this piece to form a wigwam. That's absolutely ideal now for that tomato to grow up. An alternative plant support solution to the grow ring is the simple bamboo cane. This can be positioned immediately behind the tomato plant, and it's a good idea, whilst it's young, to loosely tie the plant to the cane. This helps protect it from wind. As the tomato plants grow, from about 30 centimetres or so, it's a good idea to then tie it to the cane again, and as it grows, keep tying it on for support. Tomatoes are prone to getting whitefly, and one solution to overcome this is using French marigolds as companion plants. French marigolds give off a very faint scent which whitefly detest. So what we're going to make sure is we're going to plant one of these in the corner of each of these pockets where we can. So now we've got everything planted, it's really important to make sure that we get everything well watered in. I've taken the rose off this particular watering can just to make sure that the water gets directly into the grow bag and doesn't splash over the sides. So we're going to give each plant a water to start with, but with this particular one we're going to put water into the reservoir of the grow ring, and that water will percolate through into the grow bag down to the roots of the plant. On hot days, it's really important to water tomato plants daily. However, when tomato plants grow up to a decent height, it's important to make sure they're watered consistently, which might actually mean watering them twice a day. Only water until the compost is moist. If you overwater, the tomato fruits may be prone to splitting. Once the tomato plants have come into flower, give them a high potassium liquid plant food every 2 weeks. Eventually, you'll need to top your tomatoes, which is stopping the continuous growth. You'll also have to take out the side shoots, which is also known as pinching out. By directing the energy from the leaves into the fruit, you'll get a much better, healthier crop. I like to top my tomatoes after 4 or 5 trusses have appeared. You can harvest your tomatoes when they're a decent size and green and ripen off on the kitchen window ledge. However, I like to pick mine when they're red and ready to use straight away.